Is this person right for me? Is probably one of the toughest questions I've ever had to ask on my SP path. Hi, I'm Amy, and welcome to my channel. Here we discuss spirituality and psychology so that you can manifest your desired relationships. And in today's video, this has been inspired by quite a few comments and from a live stream today, where it's apparent that a lot of people out there who are clinging on to their specific person actually really do want to let go. And maybe you have been questioning whether this person's the right one for you. Maybe you've been questioning, should it be this hard if this person's right for me? And if this is you, I'm right here with you, because this is what I went through a few months ago. And with this journey on the spiritual path, when you start to really come into who you really are as a person, who you really are when it is that you're studying your own self-worth, when you're studying your own self-love, when your self-love and self-worth and self-esteem improves, what tends to happen is we might come across situations or relationships in our life where they don't really match up with the new version of ourselves. And this is exactly what happened to me when I started to really step into my own self-love and my own self-worth. The relationship to me became really misaligned, and it become really uncomfortable. And I had to ask myself, honestly, do I think that this relationship is right for me? And it took me probably about 2 months to really realize that it wasn't right for me. And this isn't to say that I found it easy to let go of, because it absolutely wasn't. So if it is that you're struggling, I'm hoping that this video gives you a bit of validation, because letting go of somebody who you at some point really, really wanted, and somebody who you really, really love, who you hope that you'd have this wonderful future with, letting go of that isn't easy. And I just want you to acknowledge your own feelings on this. So if it is that you're struggling, honor that and accept that, this is the human experience. And maybe it is that you've been visualizing for this person for months or years. That isn't easy to let go of. So this happened to me a couple of months ago, and like I say, it wasn't easy to let go of, and it took me about 2 months to finally accept that I didn't know whether this relationship was right for me or not. But because I didn't know, I decided to give this over spiritually to God and just let the chips fall where they fell. And the relationship did come to a dramatic end. However, there were a few things that came after, some that I expected, some that I didn't expect. And I think from the people who I've been speaking to on this topic and the people that have attended my live streams, it's clear that, these people are aware that this relationship isn't right for them. And they are aware that they do need to let this go, but they just don't know, what part of the relationship they can't let go of. So I just want to go through a few things with you, which might resonate with you, they might not. This is just from my own experience of how what happened to me and what's happened to my clients as well. And one of the major things to let go of for me that I personally struggled with was the idea of this future that I had built in my mind and really looked forward to. And it wasn't so much letting go of the person who they were now that was the issue. It was letting go of this future that I had in my mind that I was really looking forward to, that I just thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is exactly what I want. And I had to really accept that at that point, when I was thinking of this future and this person that was in front of me were two very different things. And I was in a state of sort of cognitive dissonance where I was believing two belief systems about the same person at the same time. And I had to really reconcile that I need to see this person, how they're showing up right now. What growth are they going through? What work are they doing on themselves? And are they actually moving the needle towards that? And they weren't. And, I could have manifested more, I could have affirmed more, but I don't believe in those things anymore. I don't believe that I would have to work hard to have the loving, healthy marriage that I want. I don't personally believe anymore that I have to work hard to prove that I'm worthy of that for somebody. So letting go of that idea was difficult. But what I want you to understand is, if it is that you're finding yourself going into your imagination all the time, that's a pretty good indicator that your needs aren't getting met in the moment right now. So whether that means that you're not meeting your own needs or the person that you're with is not meeting your own needs. So what we do is, because we are really aware that our needs aren't getting met in the moment. So maybe your desire is marriage with somebody, and that to you means loved, acceptance, wanted, worthy. Maybe it's all in that big package. And when I get this thing, I will feel this way. But at the moment, you don't feel that way, and you don't really know how to help yourself feel that way in the moment. So we just go into the imagination where everything is perfect, where there aren't no problems, and we go there to get the needs met. So if you can identify what needs come from that visualization or that affirmation that you say, identify what needs you're getting from that. So is it a sense of, oh, I'm finally worthy? And what I want you to do is look at ways where you are already worthy. And also, what would a worthy person do? Would a worthy person stay in a relationship with somebody who isn't moving towards that goal, who isn't really talking about that with you? Would a worthy person accept that? Probably not. And also, what I want you to consider is, with regards to worthiness, if you are doing manifesting techniques, just ask yourself if it is that you have a pattern of working hard to prove that you're worthy. And I absolutely did this with the manifesting techniques. I would double down on things. So if something in my reality wasn't pleasant, I would double down on affirmations to prove that, I could do this and that I could change things. And so just notice if you have got a pattern of overproving yourself and overproving your worth, because with God, you don't have to prove that you're worthy. You already are, because you exist. You don't have to work hard for somebody to love you, because the love is already there. You just have to acknowledge that the love is already there and have faith that love is already there, so that you can feel it. Because I can tell you that once you can get into that, and once you can step into that and realize that, that you're identifying as a child of God, you will feel that worthiness, you will feel that love, because that is what you're identified as now. You're not identified as this person who has to prove that they're worthy all the time. When you can step into and understand that you are in fact a child of God, and just because you exist automatically means that you are loved beyond what you ever thought possible, that you are worthy of everything that the world has to offer you. So if it is that you have that pattern, look at where that pattern is and stop doing it. The second thing that people really struggle with is the fear of being on their own. And this fear came up for me, and it was similar to the fear of abandonment, but underneath that fear of abandonment was, oh my God, I'm going to be on my own forever. And this fear, again, is similar, because when it is that you can step into who you are as a child of God, you will understand that you are never actually alone. However, to deal with this on the human level and the human experience, the reason why you have this fear is because there is some sort of gap in your own identity to yourself. And what I mean by that is that there is this void somewhere that needs to be filled. Because when we can really hone in on what our needs are, and really hone in on what our likes and dislikes are, and really have that relationship to ourselves by checking in with ourselves consistently throughout the day, by knowing what our yeses and nos are, knowing what our likes and dislikes are, knowing what our boundaries are, because this is how you would get to know a person. This is how you would get to know a partner. You would ask what their likes and dislikes are. You would ask them about themselves, what they like to do, what their hobbies are, how they like to be treated. And this is what you're going to do with yourself. You are going to really discover who you are without this relationship, because this relationship would have been filling some sort of void, particularly if you're apart now and you're really struggling. That is a really good indicator that you might struggle being on your own. So I want you to get a pen and paper and really think about how this relationship brought out characteristics in you that you liked, that now that person's gone, you don't have anymore. So who did you get to be in this relationship? Did it bring out a fun side to you? Did it bring out a funny side? Did it bring out a caring side to you? And really consider what this relationship brought out in you. What traits did you have that you could express in this relationship that you don't feel like you can express on your own? And just a caveat to that, feeling lonely from time to time is absolutely normal. It's so normal. Feel into it and, ask yourself, okay, what can I do to help myself feel better in this moment? Maybe get on the phone to a friend instead. Maybe jump on a live stream, just anything to get yourself connected with somebody on the outside world. Make sure you're exercising. Make sure that you're sleeping well. Make sure you're taking care of yourself and that you're eating well, because this is going to really help regulate your nervous system. Because if you're anything like me, I was afraid to be on my own, but this was a trauma response, because when I was younger, I used to be left on my own for quite long periods of time. So I had to really settle my nervous system into being okay on my own and being safe on my own, which you are really, because you're an adult now. You do know that you're safe on your own, but it's a case of going back and seeing where this fear has come from. And I could identify my fear, but also have the understanding that I'm an adult now, I'm in my own house, and I am safe exactly where I am. So if you are kind of obsessing or needing or feeling anxious around this topic, I do have a new program that's coming out. It's a live coaching program, and it's going to go through everything to do with how to actually let this person go so you can move forward into a more healthy relationship. And we're going to go through attachment styles, limerence. We're going to go through how to actually trust yourself and trust you as a child of God to be able to lead yourself down the right path. So if it is, I suppose the answer to the question is, if you're asking yourself whether this person's the right one for you, really look at, what were the good things about the relationship and what were the bad things. Don't be afraid to look at what was wrong with it. If something is meant for you, it won't be hard. It won't be difficult. You won't have to try and manifest it. You would just step into who you are as a child of God and allow life to unfold for you. So I hope you found that video helpful. If you did, drop a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.